Show me the money, Riot Games. Where's it at? How come in Valorant they get financial transparency around the esports space, the efforts that are being taken to make sure that they monetize appropriately, to make sure that everything's above board, that we know how much money teams are getting, to make a sustainable ecosystem. That way, hey, if teams are, not making enough money at the end of the day, it kind of is their fault to a certain extent. But in League of Legends, we're just like, no, I'm going to keep my mouth shut. What brings this on is Riot, as they do every year, revealed how much money teams got from their VCT revenue share, which for those of you that don't know, because we are in a franchise system, well, this doesn't technically have to happen in a franchise system. It could be promotion relegation. Regardless, your tier 1 teams in Valorant all get a cut of the amount of skin sales that happen due to esports related digital goods, prize pools, and beyond. Now, to be very clear, because I tweeted out just kind of like giving people a ballpark estimate of like, hey, it's this amount per year. Not every team gets an equal amount because there's a way to distinguish certain things within Valorant. Take, for example, the 2023 number seen here of over $33 million shared to teams. Now here, they noted that the revenue pool is broken out into 2 different areas. First, there's a base sum that everybody just gets an even cut of. Like of this 33 million, there's a portion that like, hey, everybody gets access to it. From there, there's 2 different other splits. First, teams get their own individual bundles. So say I'm a fan of Fnatic, or for North America, I'm a Sentinels fan. I can go in, buy a Sentinels bundle, and a portion of the revenue goes directly to Sentinels rather than the overall pool. I'm sure some still goes to the overall pool, but Sentinels gets a much bigger cut. So being a popular team obviously benefits you. On top of that, being a good team also means more as well because of that other pool. If you make it to Valorant Champions, you get a higher cut apparently of the Valorant Champions bundle. I'm not sure if it's all of it. They're a little bit ambiguous from what I've read here, but regardless, if you make it to say Worlds in League of Legends, you would get a better cut of the money that comes from the Valorant Champions bundle, aka what would have been like the championship skin for League of Legends that they discontinued a bit ago. Well, I guess technically it still exists with the Xin Zhao skin that happened this year, but it's not the same as like 2016 Championship Callista or Ashe or whatever year it was. So you might be thinking to yourself, okay, $33 million, that's a good bit. It's not a ton though. Like I'd like to see that number grow. So let's watch that number grow as the years go on. Remember, 2023, $33 million share. Now, more teams came into the picture due to Ascension and how promotion relegation works in Valorant. But then we jump up to 2024, and it's $44.3 million from just digital goods. So that means just the Champions bundle, which again is like their Worlds equivalent, and team capsules. So that number jumps up even more. If you include digital goods, stipends, and prize pools, which aren't necessarily the same thing, but this is going to be an important number going forward because Riot kind of switches to this number in the future, they still went up. Like digital goods alone going up 10 million, massive. The overall amount of money being shared out going up to $78.4 million, that's pretty big. Again, not evenly shared by the teams. Like it helps to be popular and it helps to be good. So if you're at the bottom, you need to invest some money to be able to help counterbalance some of this and get yourself into those top tiers. It legitimately pays to be good. And that was between 44 teams. So you did add more teams, but there was more revenue. So going into 2025 then, where are we sitting? I saw 48 teams as the number for VCT, splitting $105 million. Again, this is not jumping from that 33 and 44 number. This is that $70 million number from 2024, now up to 100 million plus. It means that Valorant is generating more and more esports revenue for their teams each and every year. That's a sustainable ecosystem with financial transparency that we wouldn't know in League of Legends unless it literally beat us over the head. And I know what many people are thinking because it's the same criticisms that I have. What in League can we do to get here? And the truth is, we're actually already partially there. It's just the small things that Riot's not doing, and one very big thing. Let's start with the small though. We now have a global revenue pool in League of Legends. They swapped to the same system that Valorant used in the last few years. Like the system that they've had, we've swapped over to that at the beginning of 2025. We just don't know the amount of money that's being distributed to us at all. Riot will not communicate that. And that is for a very specific reason, in my opinion. Because for Valorant, there's these two key touch points, barring like prize pools and the competition side of things. And that is the Valorant Champions bundle and the team like bundles themselves. For League of Legends, there are two big ticket items that are contributing to this pool, separate from the icons that most of us know from Worlds. The first is that it's actually the Hall of Legends Uzi skin. If you didn't read the fine print on this, you might not know, but a portion of the revenue of that skin, which we know makes a ton, goes to the global revenue pool to be distributed to all the teams that are in the ecosystem. But we don't know how much. The second is, I think this year was a Xayah skin that they said was part of the Esports bundle. You could buy this one Xayah skin. It had no chromas. It was already just a different theme. But this is your Esports skin that the revenue on this would contribute to the global revenue pool. Revealing any sort of information or financial transparency on these would be tipping us into how much these skins actually made. And Riot, with League of Legends, has been way more cards close to the chest when it comes to revealing any sort of financial information about skins versus their Valorant partners. And it sucks because honestly, we deserve to know the number. We really do. We should be able to see and get an idea of how much teams are getting from the league each and every year, even if it's the total number. And obviously, Korea is going to get a massive cut of that total number compared to the LCS, compared to the other smaller regions, because they are more competitive and they are more popular. There's no denying that. Like, it's just the truth. So obviously it is going to be hard to catch up to them. But there is one other thing that North America is notably missing, which we've hit like 5 times in this video if you haven't picked up on it by now. You must just be a new gen fan and not have been demanding this for the last 5 years. And that is League of Legends has no ability to support your team. Okay? We have a way to support the Legends. We have the Faker Hall of Legends skin. We have the Uzi Hall of Legends skin. We have random Xayah skins that somehow are indicative of esports. You know what I can't do? As a fan of whatever team, I'll use Sentinels again. Say I'm a Sentinels VCT fan, okay? And I'm trying to work my way into LCS and become an LCS fan. I see at the beginning of the year, Sentinels, I can go in and I can buy a weapon with a Sentinel skin and a player card as a way to directly represent my fandom of the org. You know what I can't do in League of Legends? Anything even remotely close to that. There is no way as a Sentinels fan, for those that are coming in this year, to represent your fandom in the game. None. We don't have any sort of team passes. We have no skin or chroma that we could use each and every year. We've got nothing. And I don't know how you solve this other than Riot finally getting their head out of their ass and bringing back a concept that they used to have back in, I think, 2018 was the last time I remember this happening. Championship Kha'Zix had a chroma where he would stick out his wings and he'd have the flag of every single team that attended Worlds. And now that we're down to, it's what, 5 major regions or 6 major regions, including Brazil, you kind of need to do the same thing in addition to obviously giving me a way to represent in the client who I'm a fan of. When somebody hovers over my name in client, it should blast them in the freaking head, other than just this tiny little icon, that I am a fan of X team. And there's just no way to show that in LoL Esports. And it sucks. It would make millions of dollars and would help us cement our team fandoms. But Riot just does not want to do it for some reason. I don't get it. So if there's one Christmas miracle that I want this year more than anything, well, no, 2. I'm going to be greedy. 2. I want financial transparency. We have the global revenue pool the same way Valorant does. Tell me the total number that was distributed to teams and tell me the digital good number that was distributed to teams as well. I want to see those. Second, give me a way to support my teams in League of Legends, Riot. Come on. How can you get it so right in one game and just continuously mess it up in another? I understand guns are easier to make skins for. It's just a pistol skin. It is what it is. Why is that not a thing in League when we've existed for 15 years? It's inexcusable at this point. Get your head out of your ass. Congratulations to Valorant fans, though. Y'all are absolutely killing it. Like, these numbers, as I see them each and every year and just watch them grow, is unbelievable and signs of a healthy ecosystem. Now, do teams still overpay salaries for players? Yes, we see those reports all the time. So just because a team's getting a couple million from Riot doesn't mean that they're operating with a successful budget or like with proper financial planning. Obviously, many of them can ruin that. And some teams can also use that money and just coast and not do anything with it and not try and develop their brand any further. But at a minimum, it gives you a much higher playing field, because I don't know what the stipend would be for the LCS, but I can't imagine any team in our region would be getting, I mean, the reports 2 years ago were that it was like $1 million stipend or maybe even two. I can't imagine anybody's past 6 figures at this point. Nobody in NA is touching 7. And we need to work on that desperately if we want this thing to take off and succeed long term in North America and not continue the death spiral that we've been on for a bit. Giving away for fans to support their teams might not seem like a lot, but it goes a hell of a long way, Riot. You know what you need to do.